this week I'm going to be working on more projects. As I said in a couple previous videos, I have a wedding theme shoot coming up at the end of July, and there are a lot of pieces that I'm going to be making myself just because I can't find what I want in my inventory. I don't want to purchase it pre-made online. I like to challenge myself and see if I can make it myself. So I'm going to show you a little bit of what I have going on for that shoot. And these are also pieces that I'm going to be keeping in my archive for future shoots as well. Now I will preface it with I have really horrible fluorescent lighting in my back room. So that's why you keep seeing all those yellow bands on the video. I don't have professional lighting set up, so it's annoying, but it is what it is. But anyways, let's go see some of the fabric that I picked out for this wedding shoot. I was just watching the playback for that. And it's so humid here in Fargo that my hair, it was really curled and it looked very cool Stevie Nicks. It's flat now. Anywho, little things that bother me. But so for one of the wedding shoots, it's a space galactic theme, and I am using this amazing metallic wrap dress from the brand Wax Poetic. They have the most beautiful dresses in a lot of these metallic colors, and I thought this would be perfect for the shoot, but I'm also making veils. There are 3 different themed shoots, and this one, I just saw this fabric and thought I have to make some kind of veil. Now, no, this isn't the veil. I didn't just throw this on top. I am going to, I have a vision of doing a veil similar to LeVar Burton's, what were those glasses in Star Trek, but in a veil style. And I'm going to use, see, I don't know if that's, sorry, I cut myself off. Don't know if that's going to focus, but it's this really cool holographic iridescent elastic. And I'm going to see what I can whip up, but I mean, not going to lie, I'm just seeing it like this and I don't hate it. But I do want to try to make what I have in my head. Now, the back room is still in progress of me organizing it. If you can't already tell, I have a lot going on here, but I want to show some of the other fabric I got. I'm going to be making for one of the shoots. The blazer that I've been working on with the pearls, it is going to have a detachable train on the back of that blazer. And I know I had people, when I was telling my mom about it, she's thinking, what do you mean? I have a vision, I have an idea, and that's what this black tool is for. If I get time, which I'm hoping I will, I'm going to sew pearls onto it in kind of a cascading fashion. I'm being very ambitious. Send me all of your positive vibes. But for the others, we have a dive bar shoot that is going to be very pink and very girly. So I'm going to make a big bow slash veil hybrid. I originally was just going to get this pink tool and try to ombre dye it with a darker shade of pink, but I do know my limits and I just don't think time-wise I'm going to be able to experiment with that. So I got 2 different types of tool and I'm going to see if I can fashion something, but I'm really excited about it. I hope it turns out well and I don't disappoint every single person I'm working with. But finally, for the back of that black cape, I got all of these strands of faux pearls. It was all they had left, so I just took the whole lot of it. And I'm going to drape the back of it where each detachable point is. There's going to be a drape of the tulle. And I'm going to maybe have 2 or 3 strands of this draping down with it. I was originally going to embellish the entire back side of that blazer, but I realized I can save myself a lot of work if I use a lot of that detailing just in the train, since it's going to be attached to it anyways. So I'm out of breath explaining all that, and I'm hot because it's humid here. But I want to show just some of the things I've been up to. And again, these are pieces that I want to have in the archive and keep using. I don't believe in making something, using it once and throwing it away. I can always find a different use for it. And I have another shoot coming up in August that I think some of these would do the trick for as well. So stay tuned and really send me all the positive vibes you can give. Today I've been going over some inventory that I've had just stacked and been needing to do something with. And I'm starting with a bunch of these hat boxes that I got within the past couple of years. This one is 1950s from Herbst. The hats that were in it I'm currently working on putting up online. But I had one box over here that I just couldn't get rid of, and I will tell you a little bit about why. So this box is from, I believe, the 1950s, 1960s. I have to look closer at it, but it's from a shop called Shotwell's, ready to wear here in Fargo, North Dakota. And this shop in town now has been known as a floral shop, but back then it was one of the top women's small clothing boutiques just right down the block where my shop is at. And one of the buying appointments I had, the original owner owned a very successful salon here in Fargo from the 50s to I believe about the late 90s. I actually have one of her salon chairs in the shop. Hopefully I can remember to show it. But she had closets and closets of amazing clothing. I found a 1970s Coach bag, a stunning 1960s Dior hat. Both have long since sold. But this one, I just can't sell. And first off, I love how it's like a pink lemonade. You have orange, very sunset. It is a union made label. But the reason why I just can't let go of it right now is that I have the original receipt here from Shotwell's. There we go. And it has her name on it, what she bought, and it was this hat. And I wonder if I can find, so with tax, the total for this hat was $663. How amazing is that? I'm trying to see. Oh, here we go. So it was purchased, looks like May 13th, 1960. So right in the middle there. And I thought that was really cool. And when I get paper documentation like this, and the item and the box, it's not hard to see why I would have a hard time letting this go. And her name, Stella, is actually what I named my very first shop mannequin when I opened in 2018. So it's just little details like that that really, really make me love what I do so, so much more. Here is that salon chair I was talking about. It used to be over here in the shop, but not gonna lie, I was getting a little bit annoyed of kids going on and jumping on it all the time. So I moved it over here, set a mannequin on it, and it does actually still work. Fully functional. I think it's a little humid, so I can't get that back up. Or I had a kid playing with it the other day. Could have broken it, but anywho, love it, and I'm never gonna get rid of that. And this woman's son still comes in from time to time, and it's really cool to see just how much he loves the enjoyment everybody has been getting out of this chair. Definitely a shop staple. Here is the finished look, well, one of the finished looks for the wedding shoot I've been talking about that I have at the end of July. This, they wanted it styled as a big, oversized bow veil. I was going to take a video of me actually making it, but then I would have to bleep out a bunch of curse words because I kept getting stabbed by my needles. But here I just added some fuchsia under here to give this bow a little bit more depth. Add the pop of color here. I added on this veil and another layer of the fuchsia pink, and I think it turned out really well. I'm excited to see this in photographs. I'm still working on that faux pearl blazer. I'm saving that to last so I can conserve my mental energy. Currently working on the galactic space themed veil, and it looks kind of like a really weird murderer human sucker with cellophane on it. But I tried doing kind of like a Tron inspired veil that just went straight across the face, but it was not looking good. So I'm just draping this fabric. I have to finish a lot of the edges, but I just started scattering some of these Swarovski crystals down the front of it and just just adhering them. They're this beautiful absinthe green, and it's going to match the metallic dress I have the model wearing perfectly. But I'm not really putting these in a specific pattern, just scattering them on and hoping that it looks good. Alright, so I'm not gonna lie. Every time I come back here, I have a tendency to get very overwhelmed when I look at all the pieces and I think about everything that I want to do back here, and it seems like a really big task and undertaking. So some days I like to get into the shop really early before I open, and I like to just stand back here and just stare, stare at everything and become more comfortable with the fact that this at best will be organized chaos for the time being. And it is amazing to look at all of the pieces that I've collected over the years and knowing that they still have a place even all these decades later. Their life is not over yet. So it's my early morning musings that I just wanted to inject today. With the grant I received, thankfully, I was able to get way better mannequins than I had previously had before. So I've been starting to put my collection of vintage hats up here. And this one, I just love the label. It's studio style, designed by Casper Davis of Hollywood. And I really love turban style hats. I love this little brooch. I love the tulle. I guess it's kind of fitting being the project that I just did. But I'm excited to start getting a lot of these pieces on mannequins and photographed and given their time, finally, to be appreciated and seen. Of course, I have to show off the vintage burlesque bra. Obviously, it's the darker bronzy looking piece. But I'm very excited to start getting these pieces up and photographed. It's taken some time, but I'll get there. Now, one thing I want to highlight, and you may see little peeks of this through here, but separate from the archive, you will see some modern pieces, whether they be clothing. I have these vintage inspired capri pants or this newer lingerie. Now, why I have these, the biggest reason is because with vintage pieces, I can't change the sizes on those. The sizes are the sizes. So I want people to be able to experience the fun of vintage, even if I don't have the actual vintage piece itself. So I try to find pieces that have the spirit of what I'm trying to do, but that are also going to be inclusive and fit. But having said that, these pieces are from Victoria's Secret. Now, the reason why I have a bunch of these is because when I first opened my shop in 2018, I did half and half. I did a lot of stuff online. I did some styling on the side, but that didn't pay the bills. It didn't pay my little tiny studio rent. So I needed to get another job. And I found a job at Victoria's Secret doing freight. I would do that from about 5:30 in the morning until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I would head straight back to my studio and keep trucking away on everything. And one of the only good things about working corporate retail is you do get first dibs on any items that go up for sale or are put on sale. And these rhinestone bras were part of it. I believe these were part of the annual sale. I, again, worked over the holidays too. And I'd been having my eye on these. They had matching panties as well. And I love them, but I was not going to pay, oh gosh, I don't even remember how much these were full retail. Maybe 80 plus, I can't quite remember. I was not going to pay full retail for that at all. But eventually they ended up going on sale. And I think these ended up being like $10, $15. Over here if I zoom in, I can't reach it. I have the matching panties as well, and I have used these on shoots. Luckily, they're easy to wash, and they go with everything. But these bras really kind of fit a little bit of an empty hole in my rentals, in my archive, especially if I need pieces that are more size inclusive. I mean, and they are really pretty. I worked there for about a year doing freight, was burned out, and I had to make a decision if I was going to stay doing that and trying to keep my vintage shop as a side hustle. But it was pretty much going to the point where my shop would have been non-existent had I kept going at the rate I was going. So I quit that job and went full-time into this and took a huge risk. And the risk paid off. There are struggles, always. There is no certainty in small business, but every time I look at these, it just reminds me of how far I've come and what I've had to go through to get here. But now I can put these to good use and inject good memories into them. So you'll see that. I do have some modern pieces. I believe these ones are from Betty Page Lingerie that I got through Playful Promises. I think this one's like an ASOS. These are more Betty Page Lingerie. And they're pieces that can get more wear. They're new, they're modern pieces. I'm obviously not as attached to them as I am my vintage, of course, but they help fill a hole and just keep some kind of inclusivity in what I have as well when I'm doing and fitting photo shoots. All right, well, it's almost time for me to open, and I wanted to just give another quick peek into what I've been up to this past week. It's currently, is it July 12th today? Let me check my calendar. It's the 12th. So I wanted to just give a little bit of an idea of what I've been doing this week. I do have to show, I had one of my friends here who also sells vintage and sells some beautiful secondhand pieces. And I just bought these from her. I don't know if you can see them. Let me put them down. They're these 1950s rhinestone clip-on earrings. And what I love about them is you clip them at the bottom of your earlobe and they just kind of crawl up your ear. And they have at the top, I don't know if I can show it, but they have a little bit of flexibility so they're not rigid against the ear. So I was really excited about those. But today I think I'm gonna attempt to finish this veil. You know, I always tried to do lofty projects and I knew doing organza was not gonna be fun. I know, I get it, but I really like how beautiful this is. And if we can get a good shot from it, perfect. But reason why organza is really hard to work with, can't really see it, but the moment you cut it, if you don't treat it, it starts to fray. So I have to work on those edges, but I'm excited about how this is turning out. I'm using things that I had already on hand. Sorry, I'm out of breath. It's very humid. It's in the 90s, really humid here in Fargo. And even just walking down to the bathroom, I got winded. So if I sound really out of breath, it's because I am. But this little elastic is not gonna stay on the mannequin. I just wanted to have that there to hold everything in place so it doesn't slip off. I'll take it off, and this is just going to lay on the bride's head. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy, but we'll see. Hopefully next week I will have more progress on the veils that I'm making for this upcoming wedding shoot. Another really big shoot coming up in August that I'm so beyond excited for. Not only do I get to do something creative that's different from anything I've done before, but it's also going to be a project with friends and people that have been with me and supported me for years, and it's just going to be an amazing experience. So I'm getting ready for that. The summer's turned into a busier one than I anticipated, but thank you so much for watching again this time, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.